The topic is Taiji Mechanics Outline. J. Gu, Professor of Taiji Culture Institute, Handan University. Invited to do seminar by Physical Education Institute, Suzhou University. Chapter 13, Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Force and Torque using 3D Model. Still 3D Model. Fx, Fy, Fz, Mx, My, Mz is the general force at the contact hand. M0A0x, M0A0y, M0A0z, Ix alpha x, Iy alpha y, Iz alpha z is the impulse force from general body momentum. MJAJX, MJAJY, MJAJZ, IJX alpha JX, IJY alpha JY, IJZ alpha JZ is the impulse force from general momentum of the contact hand. Chapter 13, Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Force and Torque using 3D Model. Continued 1. Newton's second law for x, y, z directions. X external force equal to mass times x acceleration. Y external force equal to mass times y acceleration. Z external force equal to mass times z acceleration. Newton's rotation law around xy-z axis. X-axis external torque equal to x-axis moment of inertia times x-axis angular acceleration. Y-axis external torque equal to y-axis moment of inertia times y-axis angular acceleration. Z-axis external torque equal to z-axis moment of inertia times z-axis angular acceleration. Chapter 13, Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Force and Torque using 3D Model. Continued 2. Solution. Normal force for both feet. Friction force for both feet. Tangents of angular line of force for both feet. Include the effect of general force and momentum. At normal root loss critical condition. Chapter 13, Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Force and Torque using 3D Model. Continued 3. Hand-strung lute calculation. Calculate the critical forces of virtual stance for 6 cases. 1. Critical torque when there is supporting force source only. 2. Critical force and torque when there is support force source only. 3. Critical force and torque when adding body momentum. 4. Critical force and torque when adding body angular momentum. 5. Critical force and torque when adding contact hand momentum. 6. Critical force and torque when adding contact hand angular momentum. See the table in next slide for input and output. Chapter 13. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Force and Torque using 3D Model. Continued 4. Input data. Output data. Case 1. MX 44.7 Newton-meter. MY negative 89.4 Newton-meter. Case 2. FX 45.8 Newton. FY 17.3 Newton. MX 10.2 Newton-meter. MY negative 20.4 Newton-meter. Case 3. FX 128.2 Newton. FY 48.4 Newton. MX 28.5 Newton-meter. MY negative 57.0 Newton-meter. Case 4. FX 184.9 Newton. FY 69.9 Newton. MX 41.1 Newton-meter. MY negative 82.2 Newton-meter. Case 5. FX 206.6 Newton. FY 78.0 Newton. MX 45.9 Newton-meter. MY negative 91.8 Newton-meter. Case 6. FX 211.0 Newton. FY 79.7 Newton. MX 46.9 Newton-meter. MY negative 93.8 Newton-meter. Chapter 14. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Multiple Forces using 3D Model. 3D Model. Multiple general contact hand forces. FX1 to MZ1. FX2 to MZ2. M0A0X to IZ alpha Z is the impulse force from body momentum and angular momentum. Impulse forces from multiple general contact hand momentums. MJ1 AJX1 to IJZ1 alpha JZ1. MJ2 AJX2 to IJZ2 alpha JZ2. Chapter 14. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Multiple Forces Using 3D Model. Continued 1. Newton's second law for x, y, z directions. X external force equal to mass times x acceleration. Y external force equal to mass times y acceleration. Z external force equal to mass times z acceleration. Newton's rotation law around xyz axis. X-axis external torque equal to x-axis moment of inertia times x-axis angular acceleration. Y-axis external torque equal to y-axis moment of inertia times y-axis angular acceleration. Z-axis external torque equal to z-axis moment of inertia times z-axis angular acceleration. Chapter 14. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Multiple Forces Using 3D Model. Continued 2. Solution. Normal force for both feet. Friction force for both feet. Tangent of angular line of force for both feet. Include the effect of multiple general forces and momentums. Cover 5 critical conditions. Chapter 14. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Multiple Forces Using 3D Model. Continued 3. Example. Analyze Lady Shuttle for 2 cases. Single right palm push. Left arm bounce and right palm push. Chapter 14. Static and Dynamic Analysis of the Defense-Offense Capability of Taiji under Multiple Forces Using 3D Model. Continued 4. Single hand. Fx 142.3 Newton. Fx2, Fy2, Fz2 are all zeros. Both hand. Fx1 161.4 Newton. Fx2 16.1 Newton. Fy2 48.4 Newton. Fz2 negative 16.1 Newton. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model. Software is written in Excel by VBA. Top left is a calculate button. Row stance classification has 3 sub-rows. Sub-row 1 is in Chinese. Sub-row 2 is the English notation. Sub-row 3 is the unit. Fifth row down is the input-output calculation. Column B to H are body structure input. Column I to Q are the input of body motion and rotation. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model, continued 1. Column R to AD is the input for contact hand 1. Column AE to AJ is the ratios of general force at contact hand 1. Chapter 15. Software for the first critical condition of multiple force model, continued 2. Column AK to AP are the 6 components of the critical force at contact hand 1. Column AS to AX are the output when reaching the first critical condition. AS is the type of first critical condition. ATAU are normal forces for front and rear feet. AVAW are tangents of angular lines of force for front and rear feet. AX is the normal torque. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model, continued 3. Column AY to BK are the input for contact hand 2. Column BL to BQ are the ratios of the general force at contact hand 2. Column BR to BW are the calculated 6 components of the critical force at contact hand 2. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model, continued 4. Column BX to CJ are the input for contact hand 3. Column CK to CP are the ratios of the general force at contact hand 3. Column CQ to CV are the calculated 6 components of critical force at contact hand 3. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model, continued 5. Calculate the attacking force capability for hose part main in 3 cases. Release force at the contact hand 1 only. Release force at the contact hand 1 and 2 simultaneously. Release force at the contact hand 1, 2, and 3 simultaneously. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model. Continued 6. Column B to AG are the input for the body and contact hand 1. Column AH to AJ are the output for contact hand 1. Column AP to AU are the output for the body. Chapter 15. Software for first critical condition of multiple force model. Continued 7. Column AV to BK are the input for contact hand 2. Column BO to BQ are the output for contact hand 2. Column BU to CJ are the input for contact hand 3. Column CK to CM are the output for contact hand 3.